the measures. I remember I told you to what you your assignment about the measures, right? Yeah. So today we are going to talk about the measure. The measures in quantitative study, the measures are highly important. It can largely determine how successful your research could be, because if you collect data, your instrument for data collection is the measure. So if you can find a suitable measure, if you can develop a qualified, if you can develop validated, reliable measure, so it can determine the success of your research. So the measure is very, very important. So equivalent to measures in quantitative study, we use the instrument, measures as the instrument. It's important for quantitative study. And if it's equivalent, the instrument equivalent to measure, what is that in qualitative study? What is the equivalent instrument in qualitative study? Yeah, that is interview protocol. So if you have the measure, you can collect the quantitative data. When you have your own interview protocol, you can collect your qualitative data. The difference is that quantitative data is in the numerical data, and for the qualitative study, it is mainly in text. Yeah, text. So they are different. They have common features. They have distinctive features, but both of them very important for empirical study. So today we are going to talk about the measures. So, but I want to share my views on the measures. So, in my views, if you want to conduct a quantitative study, my suggestion is that you need to find. So the very important thing is that you need to find a suitable, appropriate measures for your study. So I first, or the what I would say. So I do not suggest, I do not recommend that you develop a new scale, a new measure. So you need to try your best to find suitable, appropriate measures first. Why? Because developing measures is a very complicated process. It involves many data analysis. You have to confirm, using this analysis, you have to confirm the measures you develop is reliable, it is validated, you have to conduct exploratory factor analysis, you have to conduct confirmatory factor analysis, and you have to confirm they have very good composite reliability. They have good discriminant validity, and so on. So it's very complicated. So suggestion is that first of all, you need to find the measures. But sometimes we have to develop a new measure. Now, sometimes we have to, we need to do that. In what conditions and what circumstances we need to develop a new measure.
Maybe when we are studying or test new variables that have not been understudied.
Yeah, that's very important. Because sometimes we want to research a new concept. The concept is really new. It's really new. And so in this case, if we want to do a quantitative study, we must develop a new measure to measure the new concept. Yeah, so we have to. It's really a new concept. A new concept. So this is the first. And the second, sometimes we need to challenge prior measures. Yes, sometimes to measure a new concept, in prior literature may already have developed measures, the scales to measure these concepts, but I don't think they are comprehensive. They have their problems. So I want to what? I want to enrich, I want to update the prior measures. Yeah, for example, in many educational concepts, so now with social development, with technological development, so for example, AI, artificial intelligence is embedded in educational practices. So the prior measures may not capture the new development. So it doesn't match the development of the education, of the social demands. So probably we need to develop new measures to capture the new phenomenon, the new technologies. So we need to develop new measures. So two options, two conditions. First one is that we have no measure. The second one, we have the measures, but they need to be updated. Yeah. They need to be enriched. Yeah, so we have to develop new measures. So besides these two conditions, I don't think it's necessary or it's a good practice for you to develop new measures. Yeah, so we have to, you need to know that. Okay, so now today we are going to talk about the measures, but still we are talking about the two things. First one, how to find measures. The second one, how to develop new measures. Yeah, so now let's talk about the first one, how to find measures. So normally we have three options. We have three ways of finding a measure. The first way So the first way of finding new measure is that you need to find articles like this. We all know that we have many articles that specifically develop a measure. So you find these articles, and in these articles you can find the atoms, you can find the scales. So with the key terms like this, construction, development, validation, with these words. So probably these studies are conducted for developing a new measure. For example, in this one, it's developed the concept of self-efficacy. So in this article, you can find okay, you can take a look. Because it's for developing a new scale, the scales, the atoms, they will be presented in the article. For example, the self-efficacy. So here you can see this concept, general self-efficacy. And all of them, all of these are the atoms to represent, to measure the concept. For example, this is the first atom. When I make plans, I'm certain I can make them work. This is self-efficacy. But maybe you noticed that there are many atoms ending with R. You know what it is? So what is efficacy? What is efficacy? Efficacy means the strong belief I can hold to, for example, conquer the obstacles, to address the challenges, something like this. So the higher the score, the stronger the belief, right? Yeah. The higher the score, the stronger the belief. Something like this. But when you take a look at these atoms ending with R, you can see these atoms, these sentences are reversed. For example, this one, the second one. One of my problems, I cannot get down to work when I should. So if you answer this atom, the higher the score, the weaker the belief, right? Yeah. So these are means reversed. These are means reversed. So some atoms, yeah, the higher the score, the stronger the belief. But for these reverse atoms, the higher the score, the weaker the beliefs. Yeah, so they are different. So, okay, now I have a question for you. When we do the computing, or when we compute the scores, have these normal and the reverse atoms, can they be computed in the same way? No. you have to remember that. For example, when you have your own data, you have to do what? If you compute together, so it will be wrong. It will be problematic, right? Because some of them are normal, but some of them are reversed. So the first, when you have your own data, the first thing you need to do is to reverse the scores. Reverse the scores for the reverse atoms so that all the atoms follow the same pattern. Do you understand me? Yeah, you have to guarantee, you have to make sure all the atoms follow the same pattern. Yeah, they are in all of them in positive pattern or all of them in negative pattern. Yeah, so it's wrong, it's problematic in the same scale. Some of them positive pattern, and others negative pattern. No, not like that. So you have to reverse these atoms. Okay, so you can find. So this is, and another factor, social self-efficacy. Social self-efficacy. So I just give you this example, tell you that this is the first way of finding the new scale. Finding new scale. You can simply find these articles that used to develop the skills. For example, another example for this one, it's not for developing new skills. Sometimes you can see here what constructs, what concepts are researched in this study. Personality, right? Personality, student engagement, employability. Yeah. So this study is not for scale development, but here you can see in the appendix, the atoms may be presented. The atoms may be presented. For example, student engagement questionnaire. Here you can see student questionnaire. It has 3 dimensions: cognitive, behavioral, emotional. Emotional. This is student engagement. This is what? Understanding employability. Another concept. This one, personality. This is we mentioned big 5 personality. Big 5 personality. Yeah. So 50 items. 50 items. So sometimes you can find the scales in the appendix. In the appendix. Okay, so this is another way. But as researchers, as the authors, in most cases, we are not willing to present our scales in the appendix. We are not willing to do that. We do that mostly under the pressure of the reviewers. Sometimes the reviewers demand that you need to provide the scales for other scholars to replicate your study. So we are forced to provide the scales. You know what? Sometimes this is there may be the copyright conflicts or something like that, because some skills may have financial or business one, so it's may not be afraid to provide the skills. So we do that mostly under the demand by the reviewers. Okay, so anyway, this is another way finding the skills. Mostly, we find the skills in this way. For example, this article, perfectionism, school engagement. Yes, here. Because this study measures mainly two constructs, right? First one is perfectionism. The other one is engagement. Yeah, so here you can see. Okay, in this part, in the method section, in this part, measures, they also tell us to measure perfectionism, we use the child adolescent perfectionism scale. So if you use others scale, you need to provide what? You need to provide the origin or the source of the scale, right? So I use this scale, so it disappeared. Yeah. Here. So this one, flat. This is what? This is the source of the scale, right? Yeah. So what you need to do is to trace back to the source of the scale. Then probably in this article, you can find the scale, right? You can find the scale, you can find the atoms of the scale. Yeah. But sometimes you can, for example, it tells us that, flat, this is the source of the scale, but if you find this article, you cannot find the scale. So you need to further trace back. Yeah. In this article, it may also tell us what is the origin of the scale. So you need to do that further. So okay, so for this one, school engagement, we use the school engagement measure. What is the source of this scale? Frederick's, right? Yeah, this is the origin of the scale. So most often we use the three ways. Articles specifically developing new scales. Articles that provide the scales in the appendix. and articles that tell us the source of the skills in the section of the method. Yeah, so in these surveys, you can find the skills. You can find the skills. But I need to remind you that because the measures, they are highly important. They can largely determine the success of your research if you use problematic measures. Your research findings may be problematic. So the measure is really important. So if you spend some time, on the measures, on finding measures, the time you spend is totally worth. It's really important. So I suggest, first one, if you want to find the measures, first of all, good articles. You had better to find the measures in good articles. What is good article? What is good article? So we mainly evaluate the articles based on the journals. Yeah, if it is a good journal, normally, so the articles in this journal may be high quality, but there could be some exceptions, but in most cases, if it's a good journal, it's really have high, the high level. So the articles in this kind of journal may be convincing. So good articles. What? Careful comparisons. Careful comparisons. What does this mean? It means to measure a specific concept. Probably we may have two or even more measures that can represent the same concept, right? For example, personality. We have quite a few different measures for personality. Another example, self-efficacy. Self-efficacy. Maybe you can find several measures for self-efficacy. So you need to, when you find different measures for the same construct, you need to compare them. To see which one, more suitable for your research, sample, your research aims. You need to comparison. For example, your research sample is university students. Maybe some, for example, some concept that is specifically for adult, not adult, for children, for young kids. Yeah. So when you read the items, you see, oh, these items, these descriptions, these items not suitable for university students. So this is one example. I just want you to know that you need to compare which is better. Okay, a careful comparison. And third, one widely used. You have better to find the widely used, widely investigated measures. They have been tested in different contexts, in different educational, in different social, different cultural contexts. They may be more reliable, more validated. Okay, so I think when you try to find concepts, measures of concepts, these are very important. Articles, I just mean high quality articles. And you have to make comparisons. You have to find the one that has been widely used in prior literature. Okay, so this is first one. You need to find suitable measures. Okay, I have the assignment for you. You need to what is that? You focus on a specific educational concept, right? And then you find at least two measures for this concept. Then you make comparisons and see which is better, right? Okay, so now you can share. You can share. Anyone like to share first? Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah. Now you are the boss of the class. So we are so eager to learn from you. I simply suggest that you focus on SSCI journals. You know what is SSCI? No. Social Science Citation Index. Social Science Citation Index. This is a database. The database include more than 3,000 journals covering all the areas in social sciences, like education, like finance, like psychology, covering all the areas of social sciences. These journals has worldwide impact. Worldwide impact. So I think this is the basic perception or the basic basic knowledge of the research. So, for example, you know what is SCI? No. You know what is SCI? SCI means Science Citation Index. It covers what? Natural science. Natural science. This is SCI. SSCI. Social Science Citation Index. It covers social science, and AHCI, arts and humanities citation index, arts and humanities citation index. For example, literature, history. These are arts and humanities citation index. These database, SCI, SSCI, AHCI, these database include the journals that have worldwide influence, high quality journals. So I remember I told you that my supervisor told me at the very beginning of my PhD learning, my supervisor told me, you have to read high quality articles. It's really important. So I just, I have to admit, not all the articles in these databases are high quality. I need to admit also, the articles not included in these databases may be also high quality. But generally, the articles in these databases good quality, generally. So you need to find, you need to focus on journals in these databases. Journals in these databases. You need to find the articles in these databases. These articles, they're the concept, the methodology, the writing may be much better than others. So they have much for you to learn. If you read those low quality articles, maybe you won't learn much from them, or maybe they could be misleading. So this is my suggestion, high quality articles. So the articles I present to you, all of them are in the SSCI, SSCI. So good articles, good articles. Do you know whether an article is within the database? How can you know that? How can you know an article is indexed by SCI or SSCI?
Generally,
How can you know that? How can you know that? You know Web of Science. You know Web of Science, right? Yeah. Web of Science. All of them in the Web of Science. So you just search in Web of Science. Search in Web of Science. You know Web of Science. You know Web of Science. The Web of Science. You search your topic. You search your topic. You find articles in Web of Science. The articles, mostly the articles, may have good quality. Okay. Okay. Now let's move on. This time we need you need to share. This. First of all, you need to tell us three things. Three things. First, you need to tell us the name of your concept. The second, you need to share the skills with us. The skills with us. Then the third thing, you need to tell us which one is better for you and why. 3 simple things. Okay? Okay. So now I find some skills and please share with us. Yeah. That's what we need to do in finding a measure. You can find different measures, and you have to compare which is better one for your research. Then you use the better scale, the better scale. And so, for example, you have focus on the what? Artificial intelligence literacy. This is a very important concept, right? Because in recent years, the literature, the artificial intelligence, AI, has been influencing students. Do you use AI in your research? Do you use AI in your own research? So how do you use that? How do you use that? So you, what?
Ask some question. We have curious question. Why we can ask?
You ask
Then we-
AI, and AI will, of course, will provide answers, feedback. Yeah. So, based on your experience, do you think the feedback, the answers from AI is convincing? Sometimes, yes.
But we have to find again. We not realize that AI give all information is true.
Yeah. So it's really true. No, so my own experience. So quite proportion of the information provided by AI is it's misleading. It's wrong. For example, you may ask AI to provide some articles. These articles do not exist. Do not exist. Real. It just so
Professor,
simply doesn't exist.
sometimes it exists, but the different definition or different dimension from our mind. Like,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah. So I think AI really change way of doing research. Yeah, it's changed way of our life. Yeah, but I think that the step of self exploration cannot be replaced. Yeah, for many things you have to do on your own. You have to explore by yourself. Then you can ask AI. Because, for example, if the AI can provide additional information that you do not expect or you do not consider, so then I think that's the right way we use AI. And then you have to be critical of the information provided by AI because some information may not be
unbelievable.
Yeah. And so you have to be critical. So anyway, artificial intelligence literacy is really important. So maybe for example, this item, oh no, not this item, this scale, this scale. First of all, we have two options to measure this scale. The first option is what? First option is we can adapt the prior. We are researching, for example, digital literacy. You know that? Yeah. Digital literacy or educational technology literacy, they are similar, right? They are similar. So first option is that we adapt these skills to measure artificial intelligence literacy, right? Yeah. This is first option. Second option, we develop new scale, new scale to measure AI literacy. Yeah. For this, which one is better? Which one is better? Digital, artificial intelligence. They are not quite the same. Artificial intelligence has many unique features, unique functions, unique usefulness. Yeah, so if we simply adapt digital literacy skills, it may not be able to capture the uniqueness of artificial intelligence literacy. So it's really important for us to develop a new scale, right? So we need to compare. So, and when we compare, let's see. It's too long. Yeah, here it is. So these are the scales in this article. These are the items in this article. When you compare, you see there is a consensus agreement on the dimensions, right? On the dimensions. Both of them conceptualize literacy as a four-dimensional construct, right? What? Awareness, usage, evaluation, ethics, right? Ethics. You can see awareness, usage, evaluation, ethics. Yeah, but the atoms are different. Yeah, these contain more atoms. Fewer atoms, fewer atoms, and also share that because your potential sample is international students. Yeah, so you choose this one. Why? I don't quite understand. This one is better for international students. I can distinguish between smart devices. Why?
First of all, I develop value with the online learning engagement. So AI literacy affects on the academic performance. So first of all, I found the other AI literacy scale. For example, the other four dimensions: affective, behavior, cognitive. But I don't think about it, so I focused on this scale. So first,
okay.
The AI literacy is using the computer and AI.
Yeah. Okay. That I understand. So this one, is chosen for your research. Yeah. Pay attention, some items marked with R. These are, for example, here, and here, they are reversed. Reversed atoms. Pay attention to that. They have to be reverse coded. And how to do reverse coding, we will introduce in data analysis part. Okay, good. That is the way we need to do for find measure. So next one, we are going to talk about how to develop a measure. I share an article with you. You read the article, can you summarize the key steps of developing a new skill? What is the key steps? So you can read the article, go over the article again, and now we summarize the key steps. So you can see, for example, this article is developed the scale for teacher enthusiasm. It has 2 dimensions, right? 2 dimensions. One is teaching enthusiasm. The other one is subject enthusiasm. Yeah. So now we summarize the key procedures of developing this new scale. So what is the first key step? What is the first step?
Conceptual cloning.
What?
Conceptual.
Conceptual.
Cloning. Definition of definition.
Yeah. So you see, the very important first step, you have to determine. You have to determine its what? Factorial. Oh. Structure, right? Yeah. Factorial structure. For example, its dimension. Its dimension. So this is difficult. So you have to you have to determine, it's a single dimension, or it's bi-dimension, or it's tri-dimension. Yeah, it's a factorial structure. You have to determine the factorial structure, including, for example, dimensions, and indicators. Right? Dimensions, indicators. It's not easy. It's not easy. How can you know? How can you determine? So you can capture the full structure of the concept. For example, my research area, for example, intercultural competence. So what is the factorial structure of intercultural competence? So for example, scholars conceptualize, so it includes what? Your intercultural knowledge, yeah, your intercultural attitude, your intercultural skills. Yeah, and knowledge also include knowledge of your own culture, knowledge of foreign culture. What I'm trying to say is that some concepts are very complicated. Very complicated. So determining its structure is not an easy work. But the first step is to determine its factorial structure. So you have the structure, you have the dimension, you have the indicators of the dimensions. What's the next key step? Next key step.
Item.
Choose the
Item.
Yeah. Well, the indicators. We have the indicators. We have the indicators. We have the dimensions. Next, we test
pilot.
the structures, right? We test the structure. So the first step in the data analysis. So this is what? This is the conceptual level. This is the conceptual level. So next one, this is the empirical level. Yeah, you have to conduct first of all EFA, right? EFA, exploratory factor analysis. Exploratory factor analysis. Next, you have to conduct CFA. Conduct CFA, confirmative factor analysis. Confirmative factor analysis. And what you need to do? What you need to do?
Pilot.
What?
Pilot.
Test.
Pilot study. Pilot test.
Yes.
Yeah. So previously, some years ago, we often conduct pilot test. But more recently, because we can mostly we can recruit or we can have a large research sample. So it's not that we do not require or demand that you must conduct a pilot test. You can direct conduct the study. But if you see it is necessary, you can also you can still conduct a pilot test. Yeah, but not we don't demand that anymore. So CFA, and you comparing plus you can see this one. You see this is two dimensions, teaching and the subject. Very key step is here. You see, we compare different models. One factor model, two factor model. We are going to talk about how to do this later. You see, we compare and we see which model is better fit with the data. So this is comparing models. Maybe so one factor model, two factor models, and you see the data, you see the results, and we know, oh, this one is better. This one is better. So it can tell us whether it is whether it has single dimension or it has two dimensions. Yeah. Then you can see, for example, here, this is what? Correlations. What? So now we do this often in developing a scale. Here. I just want to develop teacher enthusiasm, but I also collect data of self-efficacy, burnout, job satisfaction. This is what? This is what? This is applying the scale. So previously, we just developed the scale. We confirm it has very good psychometric properties. It has good reliability. It has good validity. That's okay. You can see, recent years, we have more demands on the scale. Besides developing the scale, you have to apply the scale. You have to apply the scale. You have to see the relationship of the scale with other relevant concepts. You can see the correlation between teaching enthusiasm with burnout, with job satisfaction. You can see the subject enthusiasm with these concepts. So now, these concerns developing the scale. These concerns applying the scale. Applying the scale. So now, I just want to say, if you want to develop a new scale, it involves a lot of important procedures. It's a complicated process. Okay, so this is about the scale. And now I want to remind you, you need to install the software as ESS. Maybe next week, we are going to talk about data analysis. You have, every one of you have to install the software and bring your laptop. Bring your laptop. Okay. I just want to ask. I know some of you are